This is the Polished Business Podcast, where we discuss everything business, boss, and books. My name is Kimberly Beadle, and I am a registered Bass agent here in Australia, a certified bookkeeper, and I have a BA in psychology. And I am absolutely obsessed with supporting businesses and their success. This is a continuation from our last episode. If you haven't tuned in, you may want to listen there first. Otherwise, let's continue the conversation.
And I think too, even in the hospitality industry, because everything's so quick with your customers, some of them you might never see them again. And it's just that one experience you have. Or, they could be there for a quick takeaway pickup, or they could be there for 2 hours or for a function, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
But
We try to think through the whole process. What are they going to be going through and how do we fix bottlenecks that may happen so then they don't happen? Where a lot of places may just go, yeah, we're just going to take on double the amount of people we normally do and we should be right. Okay.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
just see how we go.
In the end, if you do 600 people or say, say 600 and then it takes an hour and a half to serve these people on each time, then you may not get through your 600. Then you get angry people. You didn't make enough money.
You've
So
got
if you think
600
through
angry people.
and what do they say? They tell 9 people. So you end up with thousands and thousands of angry people.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, the next question is about accounting software, kind of the book side of things. Do
Hmm.
you use an accounting software? What do you like about it and what do you not like about it?
Yeah. We use Xero.
Yes.
I only know to use Xero because of my bookkeeper, Kimberly, who I am speaking to. uh, many, many years ago, told me to do it. Prior to the time when the government made us do all this STP things, we were already doing it, which is always nice because the last thing you want to do is have to be forced by a deadline to do things. So it's nice to be doing it, ahead of schedule. Yeah, it's good. It's we have a lot of paper in our business, and it definitely helps with that invoicing and payroll. And I because we've been using it for so long, I couldn't. And we were using it prior to being as big as what we are. I couldn't imagine what things would be like if we weren't using it. I like paper, like I like to write things down, but I have paper everywhere. So I couldn't imagine how much more paper I have. I don't like it when Kim brings all my receipts back and is like, store these. I'm like, where am I supposed to put that? So and store them for 7 years or whatever. Oh, okay.
Put them in the
Thanks, Kim.
rafters.
Yeah, add it to the other 5 boxes we got of them. So, yeah. But yes, Xero is what we use. And in the end, we go with what Kim tells us is going to be the best for our business, and that seemed to work for us. And it's nice and easy to use. And then in the end, if we need more done, then we just get Kim and her business to do more. So,
Well, shout out to Polished Business. Yeah.
that's
Thank
it.
you.
Well, so yeah, and they
Yeah.
make our life easier. So yeah, because like we said, you might be very good at what you do, but you don't know, that industry. So you get yourself stuck very, very easily. So may as well go with the guys that know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense to
But no
getting
negatives.
accounting software that you can describe as a business owner as
Yeah,
being
good
easy.
software.
You have to like it because there's different options out there. Zero, QuickBooks, and MYOB. We try not to play favorites, but we do get quite a few people, especially those in the hospitality, seem very happy with the Zero because of the ease of a lot of the functions. And I think that's important. You have to not be annoyed at your accounting software. It's there to make your life easier. It should be making admin tasks faster, minimizing paper, just as you've mentioned. And it's an employee, really. It's supposed to be making your life easier.
Yeah, yeah, it really definitely does. And but it's one of those ones because we've had it for so long, we don't know. If you were to take it away, then we would be like, oh, okay, we can't live without it type thing. But you get a bit complacent because you're like, oh, it's always there,
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm just curious if that's been helpful reflecting back to if you have a similar event coming up and you want to see what was included in that event pricing wise. Does that help at all reflecting back on previous voices?
a lot of the stuff that we are putting into Zero is a copy paste of the proposal that's been created. You could we could go back and see on events in the past, we were like, "What did we do?" It was like, "What did they spend then?" And, so we look back on it because we'll bring their invoice up. There's some that are years, and there was other staff that looked after them back then. So
Yeah.
as far as where that info is, yes, it's probably in our Google Drive somewhere, but it's easier if I just search their name in Xero and all that comes up straight away. So,
How about when it came to bass? You probably had a bass early days, but did you find anything come up for you where your bass changed, or was there any surprises with bass? And by bass, for our listeners, I'm talking about quarterly or monthly, or sometimes annually. The when you have to pay GST, bass, and PAYG, and sometimes an income tax installment to the ATO. Give them all your money.
ATO, we love them. I remember my first ever BAS that we had to do, and as far as the GST side of things, I actually got a rebate. I got money back. And
Uh-huh.
you know what happens when you get money back that early? They audit you because I bought a car and I kind of like bought a car and then, straight into the quarter. And well, they owed me money because, and it took them 11 months to pay me that money back. But yeah, anyway, that was the first one. But what I learned later on was you got to make sure you pay that stuff. If you don't, you're in a world of hurt, and it can take years and years and years to get yourself back in front. Um, so my suggestion to anyone potentially starting out with it, it's not your money to try and put it. Just even pay them every week. To throw money in every week, get it out. They don't even touch it. You won't earn any interest on being in front with them, but you like as far as you put money in the bank, you get the interest. If you've got 10 grand sitting with the ATO, you won't get interest, and it keeps them off your back. So the last thing you need, no one scares you more than the ATO calling you. So then you pass them on to Kimberly, and and she smiles and talks to them. You get yourself to a point where you don't have to talk to them all the time. So yeah, pay it, get on top of it, and when you first start business, you possibly don't understand these things at all. And which is why, speaking to Kim and her staff help you know this stuff or look after it. You don't have to know it if they know it. They just tell you need to do this every week and you just do it. Trust the people that are the professionals to make your life easier. Then you can focus on cooking or you can focus on the thing that you're good at.
That's so accurate, and that's what we say a lot to people is that you're the expert in this, cooking or whatever it is that you guys are an expert in. You do that every day. We do this every day. There's a reason why there's an industry. I can't think of any client of ours or any industry really out there where it would be possible for the business owner to do everything in their business and still sleep a little bit, you know? And
You're
still function.
like your business, you're always going to be wearing every hat possible. I'm not a barista, but I'll learn how to make coffee because, like we need a barista. So you do those things and you will do at the start some of those things with your bass and all the rest, but try working out to save yourself money because in the end, if you're paying all this money out, you're not making anything, well, you're not getting ahead anyway. So there's
Yeah.
definitely that side of it, but then just be smart with it and go, well, how much really is it going to cost me? The amount of hours I put into that because I don't know what I'm doing, could I make more money and market better? And then, you know, I don't even know how much we pay Kim, but it's not a huge amount of money for what she does. They're saying you're going to put it up, of course. In the greater scheme of it, they're a lot faster at what they do, so they're more efficient. So,
Sometimes
that's
it's not even just your actual hours doing the thing, it's even just thinking about it. That there you spend a lot of more time thinking about, "Oh, I gotta go do that admin thing, I gotta go do that bookkeeping, I have to think about how am I gonna do that." Yeah, so you're right, it's definitely more hours back to you to do things. But I also did wanna mention, it was a bit back there, I just wanted to thank you for kind of your honesty about, Bass can be tricky in the sense that it can catch up to you a little bit, but you can get back on top of it, and it's worth it to do so. So I appreciate you just genuinely mentioning that because I know there would be a whole lot of people out there listening that probably have gotten into negative situations with the ATO. We've seen it time and time and time and time and time again, different levels, and it's different for everybody. but not hiding from it, but dealing with it. And if you need to get somebody to help you deal with it, totally worth it. And then you don't have to stress about it anymore.
Yeah, because it's always a stress in the back of your mind with things like that, and, like, you know it's there. It's not you may not think about it daily, but it's there, and it's not going anywhere. It's only getting bigger if you don't do anything about it, and unfortunately, you just do your best to try, watch your costs, negotiate with your suppliers, try and generate more money, and then just try and pay things off into it and get rid of it completely. You'll have all this extra money too, keep that in mind, because you've been so tight. You're
Yeah.
still that tight. That doesn't disappear. That's now bred into you to be tight. My wife doesn't like that, because I'm but, it's only a positive, not a negative. So, much more, money in your pocket is better.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. I feel like you may have already answered this, but do you have a bookkeeping or admin tip, trick, or tool that has really helped you?
I just palm it off to Kimberly.
I was gonna say, other than just me doing it for you, is there anything, or it's okay if that's what the answer is.
I palm it off because it's, I don't wanna deal with it. Kim likes it. All her team like it. So, it's not where I wanna be hanging out, that's for sure. So, have it. You've been doing it for such a long time now, so I don't want it back.
Yeah. Delegation is important in lots of different parts of business, I find. So, yeah.
Like, one of the things I learned a long time ago, they always talk about, mentality and thinking or acting like where you want to be. So if
Mm,
you're like, "I wanna earn $500,000 a year," well, you gotta act like that, you gotta get your mentality in that. So if that means what's your hourly rate going to be? Is it $1,000 an hour now? Well, if it's $1,000 an hour, you shouldn't be looking after that little couple of hours worth of bass, pass that on because you need to be acting like someone worth that money, and delegate where you can. Yeah, easier said than done, but, you do get there eventually. Palm it off.
wonderful. Yeah. No, that's great. If you were starting again, what would you do differently, if anything, in your first week or month of business?
Well, in today's age, I would be getting straight on AI, and I would be building my platforms instantly via AI because I would save myself a hell of a lot of time. I just created a little thing with my wife, another business that, because she wanted to do something. We built it with AI. Some of the things you can do on there would take days, if not, weeks, and then start. That's
Yeah.
the key. Don't just, it's not going to be perfect. Just start, just get it going and learn as you go. Put things in place. You got to pay your tax and you got to pay these things and just start. If you do it right from the beginning, then you don't get yourself in any trouble later on.
That's wonderful. And that's very true for
Your
everyone.
branding on point straight away, your marketing on point straight away. You know,
Mhm.
there's so much social media marketing and things like that that you can do and use the AI to help you. If you don't, your competition will. Do that and help it build, and it'll make your life so much easier.
Absolutely. I like that you said too about just giving it a go, just start doing something, anything.
Don't spend so long on the logo
Yeah.
because you'll
It's
change it later
fine.
on. You get caught in the things being perfect
Mm,
and they're not going to be perfect. It's fine. The
yeah,
the customer's probably not going to look at it as in detail as what you are. They're not as close to it as you are.
it's very true. Wonderful. All right. Well, is there anything that you're looking forward to in the next year of business?
Well, the continued growth, we're kind of moving some of what we do up into Sydney. So looking forward to that as long as everything continues to track the way we want it to. And we've built a lot of these, which we hadn't done much in the past of these sales funnels through our social media. So we've just recently built them and they're working really, really well. So we've got them built for all platforms now. So it'd be good to give that a few months and start seeing where that brings things in. So yeah, looking forward to seeing where that goes. And then obviously a lot of what we do is in a peak season coming up, but we're trying to build non-peak seasons. But I don't like peak seasons. I don't like You don't want all your money coming in the space of 6 months. You want it to be all year round. So
That's smart too, because you got that time, especially in, again, hospitality, you're gonna have those times a year where things boom, and then it drops, and then boom again, and then drops. You need something to stabilize that drop to not be so significant.
cash flow is king. You need to make sure the cash is there. You might have a great month, but if you can't afford to get there,
Yeah,
then things start to turn sour very quickly.
that's wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with new business owners or those reviewing their current business?
Don't be afraid to ask for help, I would say. You're not alone. There's a lot of forums out there. Ask the question, do your research. Where I'm in, I think I'm in like 5 or 6 cafe forums across Australia, and I see the same questions being asked all the time. Think outside the box with things. Just because you're a cafe doesn't mean you have to just do coffee. Constantly think of different ways because all of a sudden, like one of the things with cafes that we notice is, it's the opposite to where we are. We're very rustic. When it rains, we get busy. When it's cold, we get busy. But when it's really sunny, we're not as busy. But a cafe on the water would have the opposite effect of that. The rain, they're slow. So if you are just doing coffee and it rains, you got no money coming in. But what else could you do?
Yeah,
Diversifying into catering, or not saying that everyone should get into catering, but there are, if you've got a kitchen in there. If you have a commercial kitchen, it can be trading 24 hours a day. So
yeah.
it has the potential to make lots of money.
Mhm.
But if you don't watch them, they'll destroy the amount of money you got as well. So my background is cooking, but a lot of people own these hospitality businesses that aren't chefs. Chefs are interesting people. They're happy, and then they're not happy, and then they're angry. So, like, wastage is a big one, and coming up very, very soon, the government is got an issue with landfill. So if you have over a certain amount of waste, you have to do your FOGO style. So you got to
Oh,
separate it.
separate it.
Yeah, and
Mm.
that's only going to be another cost added to our business. It's not free just because you're now separating it. There's another service that's going to pick it up. Food wastage is going to weigh more. So therefore you got more costs going out and then you're buying more food. So watch the costs. You don't have to be a chef to look in the bin and see what's being thrown out. Be across it. Know all the areas of your business. What happens if one goes down? Can you go in there and help them in a way? I'll go in and help the baristas if they need it. I'm not specialized in coffee, but I
Mm.
know how to do it if I have to. I can wait tables if I have to. I'll wash the dishes. I don't care. I own the business, but I don't care. I'll go and wash dishes. I'm not fussed by that. So I'm one of those ones. I like to lead by example, not to say that that is the way to do things, but we have staff staying here. They're not leaving. I always think if I'm the one working this hard, then they can't tell me they're working harder if I'm outworking them. Not always the way, but that's just how I do it. So
But it does show something, especially without any disgruntling or minimal disgruntling. Going up, I'll go do the dishes. Okay, I'll go pick that up and move it over there and getting your hands in there instead of just being somebody ordering people around. I mean, yeah, I think every industry would probably benefit from seeing their boss doing and not just ordering, I guess.
yeah, get in there, get it done. Ask, go and, even if you're in hospitality, you could reach out directly to any of the owners and just ask them, this is what I do. I'd love to sit down, have a coffee and learn more about what you do and see if it can help my business. Most of them probably would be open to it and they're not
Mm.
savages. Yeah, you might come across one or two, but most would be happy to talk to you because they know what they went through when they first
Yeah,
started. Ask away.
yeah.
What's the worst that
Oh,
can happen? No. Okay.
yeah. Move on to
Well,
the next person.
let's get to it. To, they need to ask all customers when they're paying just one simple question. It's not a sales thing; it's opening the door. And I said, we have 1,000 customers come through, and I said, I get 2%. It's like, what's that? 20 people, which is great. 20 extra people a week that want events. But you're going to get 980 to say no. It's a lot of
Yeah,
no's. We get
yeah,
20, but great. We'll take 20. Yeah, it's like no is
yeah.
okay.
Especially if that 20 they're high ticket items, they book a wedding, that's gonna be tens of thousands of dollars. So, who cares if you get a few no's, because when you get one yes, then you're alright for a bit. All right. Well, if anybody wanted to reach out to you to book an event or to just to reach out in general, what's the best way to contact you?
Best way via our website has all the information. So findspungroup.com.au. There's contact forms, there's all our email addresses on there. So the events team are on there, or via our social media. So we've got our Findspun Group social media that looks after kind of the umbrella of all the different businesses we have. And inside that, you can then click on the links to the Woolshed, their Woolshed events page, our box catering. Via social media is the easiest, or just come into the cafe and say hello.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate you taking the time to have a chat with us. And I know all of this information will be so beneficial to so many people out there, especially in the hospitality industry. And so, yes, thank you again. And we look forward to the next time we have a chat.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Polished Business Podcast. Check out all our episodes for valuable information for the business boss and books. To apply to be a guest or stay connected, follow Polished Business on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to join the Polished Business platform for free support or one of our paid tiers. All the best in your business journey.